Also joining us here at the Illinois State Fair, we're going to talk with Don Olson, Executive Vice President, CCO for Farm Credit Services of Illinois. Don, good to see you again. How you been?
Morning. Very good. How are you?
Very good. Well, I have to ask you, I mean, there's so much talk about the downgrading of the government's credit and then the ripple effect of that, and especially down to the farm credit system. Where does that stand? How has that impacted farm credit, and how does that impacted your customer?
Well, I think we're blessed to be a government-sponsored enterprise, but independent of that, our capital position in the farm credit system is very strong, and I think the bond investors recognize that strength. Actually, since the downgrade by S&P, bond rates have gone down actually a little bit. So I think the investing public still sees our bonds and the government bonds as a safe haven.
What are you saying talking to your customers about through economic times like this? I mean, there's still strong commodity prices. We know land values are strong. It's a little different picture between the livestock sector, certainly, and the grain sector. But when you're talking with customers or potential customers, what is your message to them?
Well, obviously, there's a lot of optimism out there for the grain farmers, especially. There's a lot of volatility too, and what we're concerned about, if anything, is the sustainability of these high commodity prices. Was only 3 years ago we saw high corn prices, and within 3 months it was down in the below $4. So we're not sure how sustainable this is. It certainly is giving a boost to land prices and cash rents. I think we're going to see an increase in input prices for 2012 inputs. So there's caution, a lot of optimism, but we're not convinced that this is going to be sustained.
Are farmers taking on more debt, or are they able to pay down on debt during these times?
Well, that's interesting. The land market's been very strong. But more than half of those sales that we're monitoring are cash purchases. And many of them are farmers buying them, or local investors with farm ties. So they are putting on debt, but overall, they're also paying down debt. Balance sheets are very strong. There's a lot of working capital, which is good for volatility. So the answer is both, I guess. They're borrowing money and they're paying it down.
There's been a lot of talk about these land prices. Do we have fear of a bubble that could burst? What we keep hearing, it seems to be that while they could come back down gradually, no one is predicting a real burst in a bubble and a crash. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think the bubble probably that came into vogue after the housing bubble. And to me, a bubble is something that the market. I'm sorry, I lost my thinking there, but this is probably an optimistic market. I don't think it's a bubble. There could be some downward pressure if commodity prices don't stay up this high, but we don't predict any drastic adjustment.
So while you don't see a precipitous fall, do you see much more upside on these land prices?
Well, there's a lot of the sales that are the strongest sales are the higher quality land. Interesting, we just went through a study of the last 12 months of land sales, and for the high quality land, the price increase was 32%. For the low quality land, it was only about 13%. So there is quite a difference in the quality of land. I think there's quite a difference in the location, where that land is located, and how strong the buyers are, the potential buyers in that area.
And are you still seeing a lot of interest, a lot of those sales of farmland being made to other farmers?
Most of the sales we see are other farmers buying them, or investors who have pretty strong farm ties.
So not as much outside speculation money coming into that farmland market?
That's correct. There is a lot of talk by investor groups buying farmland now as an investment, as an alternative to the stock market investment. So I think we will see some new entrants into the marketplace, but so far farmers have enough cash, and I think they're supporting the market right now.
So right now, at least with grain farmers, what you're seeing in Illinois is, even though they're concerned about condition of the crop right now and some maybe overall general economy things, for the most part, things are looking pretty strong with the farm economy.
For the cash grain farmer, they have a strong balance sheet, and I think they're using that to support. Along with, there's some optimism, but I think they're cautious as well.
Very good. All right, Don, thank you. Good to see you again.
Good to see you, Mike. Thank you.
As Don Olson, Executive Vice President, CCO of Farm Credit Services of Illinois. All right, we are at the Illinois State Fair in Springfield, Illinois. It is Agriculture Day. As the ag groups get together, there's going to be a lot of talk, kind of a rally around pushing for passage of free trade agreements. We'll be talking about that coming up. As in our last segment, we're going to talk with Tom Jennings, Illinois Director of Agriculture. Stay with us on AgriTalk.